Welcome to another episode of Bearish or Bullish. I'm going to throw out a topic, a stock, maybe a person, a movement, a piece of art, I don't know, whatever. And JC is going to let me know if he thinks it is bearish or bullish, if he's bearish or bullish on it. So let's start. First one, JC, good to see you. Value stocks. What are value stocks? Please explain.
Kids are getting a lesson. They're all Googling. What is a value stock? You know, it's been growth tech for a long time, and that's been working. And anything, you know, energy and industrials, basic materials, emerging markets, you know, growth, all that, you know, the global growth, I should say, you know, has been forgotten. But when you go back to 03, 04, 05, 06, when I first got in this business, those were the hot industry groups, and they're back, baby.
They're back. Which one is your favorite?
Well, I think it's value in general. You've got financials is 20% of value. You've got all these energy stocks. Granted, it's a small percent of value, but that's where you'll find the energy stocks, oil services, explorers and producers, you know, Berkshire Hathaway, the insurance companies, like those are Walt Disney, like real value companies that have just been left for dead because they're not high growth tech stocks. Right now we're in a rising rate environment, and value tends to do very well in that environment.
Stick to what you know. Okay, well, you mentioned energy. Last week's episode, you were super bullish on energy. You recently, on your podcast as a guest, you had Larry McDonald, former bond trader at Lehman Brothers. He's also very bullish. Are you still?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely bullish. I don't know if I was as bullish as Larry was. The podcast just dropped. By the time this video is released, the podcast will have already dropped. I highly encourage you to check it out. Go to allstarcharts.com or search iTunes for All Star Charts and listen to the conversation I had with Larry McDonald. This is one of the smartest guys I know, not to mention he talks to most of the smartest people in the world and literally all over the world, Latin America, Asia, throughout Europe, Canada, etc. And, you know, he knows what the chatter is out there. And the chatter is, as money's been coming out of the bond market, it's also coming out of where all those big players have been hiding in these mega cap growth names, the Amazons, Apple, Microsoft, all those things, and they're flowing into these value names, and he thinks there's a lot of upside for energy. Larry thinks that a year from now, we're going to have an energy shortage here in the United States. Prices are going to be astronomical. And I not so much that I'm rooting for it for consumers, I'm rooting for it because those are the things we're buying. So we'll make a lot of money in that environment, you know, so I guess I'll be happy about that.
I know it's kind of a catch-22, and we're already seeing little peaks of those if you read the news. But I know you don't like to get into headlines. Okay, but your college friends are texting you about rates, so that has to be a good sign.
It's probably a good sign for bonds if my college buddies are telling me the rates are going up too fast. You know, when you start getting those text messages, and listen, it might be like a sentiment, sort of everybody's talking about it today. It might be one of those things where short term. But, you know, bigger picture, it certainly looks like rates are heading higher. Money's going to keep flowing out of the bond market, value. And then the level's 1.7. So if you look at the iShares ETFs of growth versus value, so it's IWF for growth and IWD for value, that ratio 1.7 is that level because that completes the reversal. So if that ratio is below 1.7, the bet is value, not growth for the foreseeable future.
All right, let's talk some precious metals here. Platinum and silver have been trouncing gold as of late. What is the play there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we always talk about how gold's not just like underperforming. It's the most underperforming asset, maybe other than bonds, right? Because bonds have really been getting slaughtered since last year. Gold's maybe the second worst investment you could have possibly made, but you're not seeing that weakness in silver and platinum, which, you know, keeps me sort of thinking, you know, ultimately, I think gold can't be too far behind if platinum and silver are doing so well. Like, we probably shouldn't be shorting gold. That was probably a mistake. We probably should have shorted gold. We've just been out of it and in other things. So indirectly, I suppose, shorting gold by being in the other stuff. But when you look at an equally weighted chart of platinum, silver, and gold, sort of the precious metals basket breaking out to new highs, or at least attempting to, it's worth a look, especially the leadership groups in silver. So if you're going to be in those names, I guess we probably shouldn't be in the laggards as gold miners break down to new 8-month lows, Newmont's down near lows. Like, those aren't the leaders. Look at the silver and platinum names for leadership.
All right, let's do a little pivot here. And an alley-oop. Is the Miami Heat, are they the hottest team in the NBA? Bearish or bullish?
I am bullish the Miami Heat. I mean, they've won 8 out of the last 11 games. They're moving up the leadership board. They're only 1 game behind the 4 seed in the East, which is really anybody's conference. Anybody can come out of there. Miami made it out of there last year. You know, they got Jimmy Buckets back. Tyler Hero still hasn't come back. Goran Dragic is now officially back. So the team is getting together. No all-stars, by the way. Don't think they're going to forget that.
I'm just going to go on a limb here and say that you, JC, are probably bullish on anything Miami, right?
No, I wish I could tell you. I mean, my experience as a Dolphins fan has been not so good. The Heat just have a great organization. From, it starts at the top with Pat Riley and Spoelstra and the whole thing all the way down, right? So it's not just in basketball. You see it in other sports too. Just great franchises and really bad ones. That's just sports.
True that. All right. What advice would you have? We have a lot of newbies when it comes to buying stocks. What advice would you have to someone who really isn't that familiar with the way things work and they're really just familiar with, say, retail or tech stocks?
Yeah, I mean, open your eyes is really, what I would suggest. It's a big world out there. Had a client recently say that, before he came over to us, he realized that he was just a goldfish in a little, in one of those little fish tanks. And then he realized there's this giant ocean of information and trading vehicles and all sorts of things all over the globe. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And in some environments, like we've just seen, tech and growth and, the US and all that stuff is the place to be. And in other environments, it's the opposite. And it's other things that are the leadership groups. And that's the environment we're in. It's not the United States. It's international. It's not developed markets. It's emerging markets. It's no longer growth. It's value. And that's just normal rotation. Those are just cycles. Classic behavior for bull markets, Julie.
It's a whole big old world out there, Nemo. JC, thank you so much. For more of JC's research, you can check out allstarcharts.com.
Thanks, Julie.